Welcome to FX Options University, recorded live at the International Securities Exchange, the world's largest equity options exchange. Join the industry's top trading professionals as they provide insight and strategies for trading in the currency markets using FX options. FX options are a low-risk alternative to hedging currency moves in any market condition.
Welcome, everyone. This is Steve Meisinger, your host for today's ISC webinar. I'm really happy that we have John Person with us today. John's going to be talking about using candles and pivots to predict price moves. If you're looking to pinpoint price moves, identify trading opportunities, well, John's definitely the guy. He spent a lot of time on these pivot analysis, and he's going to share with us his pivot analysis. He's written lots of books, and he's what I like to think he's the real deal. He's a great trader. He's, being a trader, you need to be flexible. So John will talk about how you need to be flexible, but also doing your homework, the pivot points. And John will also mention about how you can get those pivot points at his site. So without further ado, I want to introduce John Person. Hey, John, it's great that you're with us. Really happy that you're here today.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Steve. It's good to be here. Just want to do a quick sound check for everybody and make sure the quality and levels are good. So I don't know if people want to respond there. Yes, no, indifferent. Everything should be working. Excellent. Well, folks, basically we're going to go over today some information that you may be familiar with, candles and pivots. I'm going to go through some slides just to give you an insight of what you're doing. And then we're going to go to a couple different trading platforms and some of my indicators and do a real-life study and show you what putting it all together can look like and how it can be instrumental in not only forecasting a potential price move, but also helping you to determine when to step off the train ride. Most people have a really hard time figuring out, if you're trading options, what strikes to select. And, we can go through many different ways of using analytics to discover valuations of different options. And if you're looking at data, if you're looking at, depending on what you're looking at, whether, like I say, data with time decay or looking at deltas from a percent of the option value should move to the underlying movement of the product. And I think most people really should, in my, 30 years of trading, I really find that it's important not just to be able to determine market direction, but market condition. It's also equally important to uncover risk parameters. And what I'm going to substantiate that statement by saying, many people say, well, I'm not a directional trader, I'm doing condors, and I'm just looking to take in premium. Well, you're a directional trader, because if the market goes in a strong trend condition, you're not going to perform well using a particular strategy. So it's important to understand not just what the direction of the market might be, but what the condition is of the market. Is it in a consolidation phase? In order to determine where the market's going to go or what condition the market might be in, it's best to ask yourself, where has the market been, or what condition have we been in? Currencies tend to go through phases quite well. We go through trend phases, and we also go through periods of decreased volatility, or we go through periods of consolidation. And I think there's a strategy that best suits each market condition. So candles and pivots really can help you, more importantly, adjust your trading strategy by identifying what the market condition is in. So that's what we have in store for you today. And also to give you, just to elaborate on, and the last time that we were together with the ISE, I did a presentation on seasonalities with the euro currency, and I'd like to revisit that so we could see what has the euro currency been doing, and has it been performing to its seasonal tendencies despite its debacle. And I think it'll be very interesting as you see what the euro currency has actually been doing and how it's really been behaving within its norm of seasonalities. So I'm excited to present today, and hopefully we can find some interesting information so that we can all benefit as traders from. So let me move to the next slide here. By the way, this is a risk disclosure statement. I'm sure it says that trading is risky, and this information is educational in purpose. If you would like a copy of this, I'm sure they will email you a disclosure based on the slides. This information has been put together by ISE and myself, John Person, and basically it says that trading is risky. So if you'd like a copy of the risk disclosure, once again, contact ISE, and they'll be sure to send you a full disclosure of the risk disclosure statements. Just a little bit about ISE and some of their options. They've come out with some really decent products for pricing purposes. They used to have the EUI. They still do. Now they have the EUU. They have the AUA, the GBP, which moves in sync with the underlying Forex pricing. I think these are some of the markets and the products that they have available. Excuse me, that's AUM, like for the Australian dollar. Steve and I were talking before we went online live here with everybody, and it was interesting that he was talking about how the increase in activity in the Australian dollar, and it might have a direct link to what was going on with China and their valuation of their currency. So we'll probably have an opportunity to do a quick examination of what the outlook is on the Australian dollar. Brazilian real, the British pound, Canadian dollar, euro, the Japanese yen, Mexican peso, New Zealand dollar, Swedish krona, and the Swiss franc. So they really have the availability to trade all major foreign currencies at your disposal. And again, as Steve had mentioned, it's important that for equity traders can participate in this, and just by having your securities account, you don't have to open up any secondary accounts, so it's all available for stock traders. Now, as I mentioned, a lot of traders have a hard time identifying how to stay with trending market conditions. They have a hard time understanding what condition the market is in. I'm a big believer in understanding where the market's going to go. You better know where the market's been or what condition we've been in. What I mean by condition, have we been in a consolidation phase or have we been in a trend mode? Many, many times, people, you've always heard the phrase that people get chopped up in consolidation or a trend mode, and it's true. The problem is it's generally after the market's had a tremendous long trend in the market, either up or down, and then they try to participate. And they have a hard time identifying when the trend ceases to exist. And I'm going to show you a couple things that can help you to identify when a trend ceases to exist. And it's between that point of when a trend ends, then a consolidation period begins. Because very few times do we see markets go from one phase to another, like in other words, from a downtrend to straight back up uptrend, or what they call a V bottom. We generally see the market go from trend to consolidation phase, and after that consolidation phase, that's when we go and either resume the trend or we're going to reverse the trend. So we're going to help you with some techniques that might help you get a little bit better in identifying when these conditions change. We're going to talk about identifying when a trend exhausts itself, or what we say ceases to exist. We're going to also look at how pivot point analysis can help you set profit and loss points of interest. And we're going to talk a little bit about understanding seasonalities of the market, again, as a quick review as what we discussed together the last time we were here with the euro currency.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. Get trading ideas, exchange rates, webinars, news, and commentary. Visit www.fxoptions.com. ISE FX options can be easily traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in U.S. dollars and have a European-style exercise.